Good morning, class. We shall now move on to our next lecture to see how to write unit tests in MapReduce. In the last class, we have seen how to set up the development environment in order to execute the MapReduce jobs in Maven to build a project, and how to manage the configuration files and use generic options parser through tool and tool runner classes in order to give the customized command line arguments for configuration properties. In today's class, we are going to write a unit test by using the MapReduce unit. This is a helper class as we have discussed in last class. This is a helper class which allows us to work with JUnit, Java unit, in order to write unit tests to test our code at a smaller scale, means to test your functionalities, each and every functionality at a lower scale, at a smaller scale, and then deploy it onto the cluster, and running locally on test data using running by running a job in a local job runner and testing the driver. Okay, we have to write map driver, reduce a driver, and pack it into a job and write a driver class in order to execute them. That we are going to cover in today's class. Now let us see how to write a unit test with MapReduce unit. The map and reduce functions in MapReduce are easy to test in isolation, which is a consequence of their functional style. Right? It is not that all have to be tested as a black box. Right? You need not test them at the abstract level. You can test the MapReduce jobs at the functional level, at a unit level, so that it is easy to test them in isolation. They can be tested separately and see whether they are working fine or not, and then they can be combined in order to complete your MapReduce jobs consolidation, right? So it is very easy to test these MapReduce jobs in isolation. And MR unit, which is available under this URL to download and use it, is a testing library that makes it easy to pass known inputs to a mapper or a reducer and check that the outputs are as expected. This you used to do in your Python coding also, right? If you want to test any block of functionality, that can be easily done by writing some unit tests in Python. The same thing you are trying to write here also by using MR unit. But remember, MR unit is to be used in conjunction with a standard test execution framework such as JUnit, something like Java unit, right? They can't be used individually, but they should be used in combination with Java unit or any other such standard test execution frameworks. So you can run the test for MapReduce jobs as a part of your normal development environment. Say if you are developing it in a Maven environment, or if you are developing it in some IDE, these MR units and J units combined together will allow you to run unit tests in the development environment. Now let us see how we write the test for the mapper. It is again quite easy. This code, because you have already written mapper classes, reducer classes, and a class to run the job for map and reduce, to pack the map and reduce, it will be now easier to understand this code for you. Now we are going to write the test for the mapper. For this, we are importing Java IO exception class, org-apache.hadoop.io class, and org.apache.hadoop MapReduce unit, which has a sub-package MapReduce from which you are actually downloading the class map driver. Now in this, again, you are also importing the Java unit because MR unit can't be used in isolation. It has to be used in conjunction with JUnit. You have to import this org.junit and all the classes of this package. Right? Now we are starting our actual class max temperature mapper test. This is again resembling the purpose for writing this class. For what we are writing this class can be known from this name given to the class. Yeah, sorry for the interruption, students, but there is a power cut here. Yeah, we'll continue now. Can you see the presentation? Students? Can someone confirm? Can you see the presentation? I joined through mobile network, that's why I have a
Yes,
doubt.
ma'am.
Right. Okay, so we are writing this Java class called as max temperature mapper test in order to perform unit test with respect to the mapper class. So what is the purpose of writing the mapper class? We have to get the key value pairs as input. That is the offset of the file. We have seen in the previous chapter, offset of the file and some unstructured data which contains the year and also the temperature captured in that particular year, right? The unstructured data has the details about the air temperature recorded in a particular year. And this key value pair is taken as input by the map phase, and this gives the extracted year and the air temperature as key value pairs as output of the map phase again, right? So for that we are writing the test in order to see whether it is doing its task properly or not. For that we are writing a test here. The annotation we are giving here is test in order to indicate that the following code is written to test something. Now, in this class, we are writing a function processes valid record. Okay, so we are trying to write valid record. We are trying to process a valid record in this function. That is why we are giving this name. So public void, which throws again some exceptions, IO exception and interrupted exception, right? Now, whenever you're trying to perform some reading the data, writing the data, or performing some operations like job executions, which may be interrupted due to some node failures, it may throw interrupted exception or IO exception. For that, we are trying to make the system handle it gracefully. Okay. Now, in this function, what we are doing, we are extracting the year and the air temperature from the text data. Okay, we are taking it, first of all we are taking the raw data and we are giving it into value which from which you can extract the key and the values, right? So you are taking here a new instance of text because you're giving an input split in the form of a text here. You're creating a new instance of text and take the entire unstructured data which has the year part and which has the air temperature part, which is concatenated by using this symbol. Do not get confused why we have this in the middle. I observe this carefully. The first part of the text is enclosed between double quotes, concatenated with second part of the text. So we are just giving two parts of the text here, one which contains year and the second one which contains a temperature. You notice here a year is given here in this raw data and a temperature is given here in the raw data with the quality code. Rounded number is the quality code, whether that measurement of a temperature is valid or not, right? This raw data is taken into value variable, which is of text type. Okay, text means it is of string type in Java. Now you're creating for this class, for this function, you're creating a new map driver instance, okay, which takes key value pair as input and produces key value pair as output. You have to understand this very, very carefully. When you're creating a new instance of the map driver, what does a map driver do? Map driver takes key value pair as input and gives key value pairs as output, right? And that you're going to test. For that, you're creating an instance of this class, map driver class, that is available in MapReduce sub package of MR unit main package. Okay, so you're creating the new instance of this map driver, which takes the key value pair. What is the key value pair here? The offset of the file, this one, and the raw data, right? To represent offset of the file, we are using long writable, which is nothing but long int in Java, because file offsets may be larger as you go to the ending records, right? For that, you're taking long writable. And for the raw record, you're taking it as text. And it emits the year in the form of text and series of values. The collection of a temperatures recorded in that particular years in the form of an array that is taken by, that is in the form of int writable, that is of the type int writable. Okay, so it is taking key value pair as input and key value pair it is emitting as output. For that, you're creating an instance, right? So you have created a new instance of this map driver, which would take key value pair and emit key value pair, right? And dot, what other classes it has to invoke? With mapper in order to attach the mapper instance. What is the mapper class's name you have written in your previous lectures? Max temperature mapper. You remember we have written 3 Java classes: max temperature mapper, max temperature reducer, and max temperature to pack the job. Right now you're adding that max temperature mapper's instance, new max temperature mapper. You're creating an instance and passing it as parameter to this with mapper method. So this map driver will work with this mapper in order to indicate that we are creating the instance. Okay, this new map driver will work with this mapper and with what input that you have to mention with input value. With dot with input value, you are invoking multiple methods using this map driver's instance. You have to understand this clearly. When you are creating a map driver instance, in order to write your unit test, you are invoking multiple methods, which uses your mapper class, which uses the input value. What is the input value you are using here? With input value, what parameter you are passing here? The value that is taken here. That is the raw data from which you can extract the year and the air temperature captured in that particular year, right? And you should also specify the output. Remember, this is a unit test and unit test should have the expected output mentioned. Only when you mention the expected output, you can tally it with the actual output. Only if they both match, in that case, you can say that this test is passed. If they doesn't match, then they are showing some error, which has to be rectified immediately. Okay, so what is the input you are mentioning here with output? What is the output you are expecting? A year value and series of values. Sorry, not series of values, whether it is able to pick the A temperature, whether it is able to pick the A temperature from the raw text, that we are finding out. Sorry, here I have mentioned it as iterable. Iterable is for not series of values, but just one A temperature. It is an integer value which takes just one A temperature. Ours is a unit test. We are not bothered about whether it is capturing all the air temperatures in a particular year. Our main intention is to see whether this mapper class is able to pick the year and the air temperature captured in that particular year. Later in its next record, it may take the same year and another air temperature captured in that particular year, right? So you're taking here your what output you're expecting here, the year value, which is of text type. So you're creating a new instance of text type and passing year value as parameter, which you're expecting is from this raw record, you're expecting 1950. And you're also expecting an integer value for the A temperature, that is minus 11 degrees. Okay, so these two are associated with the output. And finally, you're invoking the run test method. Okay, so what all you're associating with the map drivers instance? You're associating the mapper class, you're associating the input, that is the raw text here, and you're associating the output also, that is the output that is expected in the form of key value pair, and finally calling the run test method, which will run your test, which will give you this output that is expected. Now, if the expected result is not equal to this result, then, if the original result is not equal to this expected result, then it will give some error. Okay, that is how you have to write unit tests. And you have written here unit test for mapper. Now let us see how to write a unit test for reducer. Now your task will become quite easy. Now you have understood very well how to create the map driver instance. You could also create reduce driver instance very easily. So it will be easy for you to understand this part of the code. Now you are writing another test. Now this test is for reducer. And what is the class, what is the method that you are using here? Returns maximum integer in values. Again, this function name indicates the purpose. In previous case, for the mapper, what is the function name you have given? Processes valid record. Yes, it is processing valid record in order to get the year and the A temperature captured in the year. Now, what is the reducer's job? To find out the maximum integer in the values given. Okay, so the name is returns maximum integer in values, which again throws IO exception and interrupted exception. Now, you have to create new reduce driver. In the previous case, you have created new mapper driver. Now you are creating new reduce driver, right? And this reduce driver also takes what input? In the form of key value pairs, and what output it expects? Again in the form of key value pairs. So you are taking the input as text and iterable. This input is nothing but the output given here. You observe the output given here by the map driver phase. Map driver class. What is the output you are taking? Text and iterable. Same you are taking as input here, because the output of map phase will be the input of reducer phase. And what type of output it emits? It emits again a key value pair. What is the key value pair? The year, which is of text type, and the maximum A temperature recorded in that year, that is iterable type, integer type. And for this, you are creating an instance. And along with this instance, With this instance, you are trying to invoke some methods. What are the methods? With reducer, with input key, and with input values. Now, what does with reducer method take as parameter? In order to associate your reducer class, in order to check whether your reducer class is working well or not, that reducer class's instance, new max temperature reducer, that instance is passed as parameter to this with reducer class. And with input key, what type of input it is expecting? It is expecting a text value as input. It is taking a text value as input key. We are just focusing on the input, right? Once this input is taken, you are trying to give the input value separately. Observe in the previous case, you have given with input value as value. Okay, what kind of value it is extracting you have taken. But in this case, you are mentioning the key, which is year, and you're mentioning the input values also. You are mentioning, you are not extracting it from the NCDC data. You're just trying to write a unit test which executes with this functionality and gives us correct result or not. So you are creating an array here. You're creating an array of values 10 and 5 just to test your functionality. So you're creating new integer with value 10 and new integer with value 5, and these two you're converting as a list here 10 and 5 and converting it to the arrays class. You're transforming it as an array and passing it to the input values method. Now what is the key that you have associated with this reducer? 1950. And what is the value you have associated with this reducer driver? 10 and 5. Now, what would you expect as output? With output, what you can expect as output from this? The year, that is new instance of text. You're creating 1950 and maximum temperature among this 10 and 5. What is the maximum temperature? 10. That is what you're expecting. So you have created a new integer with value 10. So you are expecting as output the year and the maximum temperature that is passed as array. If your reducer class is able to locate the maximum temperature in the given array, it would work with the original key value pair also, right? So you're testing it at a smaller scale by a user defined array. Once it works fine, it works with the larger data set also, right? And finally, you're calling the run test method, right? Now, when you run this test, it has to give this output. This is the expected output, and this, if it gives the original output, then your test is a pass. You have your code has passed this unit test. Okay, this is how you write the reducer test. Now running locally on test data. Now that we have the mapper and reducer drivers working on controlled inputs. Why we call it as controlled inputs? We are giving the inputs. We are not taking it from the real data set. We are just giving the inputs and expecting some outputs and make the mapper and reducer classes meet that expectation by giving the same output. Okay, so you are working on controlled inputs. The next step is to write a job driver. You have written map driver, reducer driver. Next step is to write a job driver and run it on some test data on a development machine. Students, you have to understand this very well. In the previous case, we have written mapper class, reducer class, and packed it into a job. Now we are writing a test for map as map driver. You're writing the unit test for reducer as a reduce driver, and you're trying to write the test for the job as job driver. Okay, you're able to correlate these two topics, then it will be easy for you to understand. Now, running a job in a local job runner using the tool interface it is easy to write a driver to run our MapReduce job for finding the maximum temperature by the given year. So you're writing an application to find the maximum temperature here, and in this here actually you're trying to write the test in order to trying to include the test in order to see whether the job is running properly or not at a smaller scale, right? So you're creating a class max temperature driver. In previous case, you have created a class max temperature in order to pack the job. Here you are writing a test for running it in a local job runner of the name max temperature driver, which extends configured class and implements tool interface. Okay, if you want to make any configurations, if you want to set any system properties from the command line while executing this job, in such case this class should be able to be configured. This class should be able to take the changes in the properties from the command line by the user. For that you are extending this configured class, which implements tool interface, which in the background implements generic options parser. You remember in yesterday's class, which in the background implements generic options parser in order to enable the user to set the system defined properties by taking priority for the user defined properties. Right? Now we are overriding the run method for this configured class. Now what you're doing in this run method, you're taking the command line arguments. Now in order to execute a job, it has to take some input from a file and it has to write the output to a file. For that it requires two arguments, the input file path and the output file path. Right? Now if the given command line arguments are not in this format, then it has to raise some error. That is why you are defining this system.error.printf. The usage should be in this format. It should specify the input path file, input files path, and it should specify the output files path also. Okay, and get the class and get the simple name of that class. Right? So that it will get all the properties of that class. Now you are using tool runner class in order to print generic command usage by using system.error. So what you are doing here, you are not taking the system defined error. You are trying to pass a more comfortable message for the user to understand what type of error arised. I'm repeating this again. You are not depending on the system to give some error message. Because it will be in more technical terms. You want the user to make him understand the message more comfortably. For that, you are using the tool runners print generic command usage method, which in turn invokes generic options parser to pass this system error as a argument. Okay, so this will display more comfortable message to the user to understand what kind of error has arisen. Now you understood the role of generic options parser, which is invoked by this tool runner. Now this finally returns some integer value in case if some error arises and the message is printed. Now, if the error doesn't arise, means you have passed an input file path and you have passed an output file path also. Now, no exception will arise, no error will arise. So what is your next step? You have to create a job object for the job class as a new instance of job, which gets the configuration for that particular system on which the job is going to run, because you have to know what kind of properties have been already set by Hadoop core.xml, Hadoop localhost.xml if you are running in a pseudo distributed mode, and Hadoop cluster.xml if you are running in a mini cluster or on a main cluster. Got it? So you are getting the configuration of the system and You're naming this job with max temperature name. As you know, we are running multiple jobs on a cluster, and such many clusters will be running in a data center. Now, there should not be any confusion between the multiple jobs that are running. You should be able to identify each job with a unique name. If you don't pass it as a parameter, then it will assume some system defined identification which we can't understand properly. That is why you're giving a name max temperature. Right? Now you're packing it into a jar class. Once you create the job instance, what is your next step? You have to create the jar file, which can easily be transported onto the cluster. You are creating a Java archive file, which can be easily transported between data nodes in the cluster to execute the job, right? So you're creating set jar by class by taking get class as parameter. Here you are getting the class value. You are getting the class for which the instance is created, for which you are getting the name of the class, and for that class you are setting the jar file. What is the class you are getting here? Max temperature. Right now, all that max temperature properties, all that max temperature code is now packed into your jar file. Okay, now you are giving other code is same as your max temperature class. File input format, you are adding the input path from which the file has to from which the data has to be read for processing, and you are adding the file output path to set the output path into which the data has to be written, output path to a file into which the data final output has to be written, that you're mentioning by file output format. This mentions the input file from which the data has to be read. This mentions the output file to which the result has to be written after this map reduce job is completed. Now you are setting the mapper class. You know this code very well, right? You're setting the mapper class, you're setting the combiner class through the reducer class, and you're setting the reducer class. You also know that this is optional. In order to minimize the data transfer between map and reducer, you opt to use combiner class. This is an optimization technique. It is optional. Okay, so generally it is a good programming practice to add this combiner class in a map reduce job. So you're setting the mapper class, combiner class, reducer class, and you're also setting the output key and the output value. Output key is the year, output value is the A temperature captured in that year. And finally, you're calling the wait for completion method for the job, and it gives, if the job is completed, it gives 0. If it is not completed, it gives 1 as return value. Based on that, it can exit the execution of this class. Now in the main method, what we are doing, a small change has to be made. In the main method, in order to run this task, you are using tool runner, because you may pass some parameters to set the properties, to configure the system properties. For that, you may pass some command line arguments, which can be taken by the tool runner, which will be handed over to the generic options parser, which in turn makes modifications to the configuration files properties. Right? For that, you're using tool runner, toolrunner.run, by creating a new instance of what is your test class you have written here, max temperature driver, which uses map driver and reduce driver to perform the test. Okay, so this new max temperature drivers instance is created, and it also allows to pass the arguments to set the configuration properties. Finally, you take the exit code. If it gives 0, it stays back, and if it gives 1, it exits from the execution. Now we can run this application. Now we can run this application against some local files. Do not attempt to run your application at a larger scale on the cluster for the first time. You have to run it against some local files, see whether it is working fine or not. Only then you can transport it onto a cluster. right? So Hadoop comes with a local job runner. Hadoop has a tool called as local job runner, a cut down version of the MapReduce execution engine for running MapReduce jobs when you are working on a single Java virtual machine. When you're running on a pseudo distributed mode on a single machine, Hadoop provides you with the local job runner to execute the job and see whether it is raising any errors or not. Okay, so it is designed for testing and is very convenient for use in an IDE, since you can run it in a debugger to step through the code in your mapper and reducer. Okay, so this enables us to run our code in our local IDE, in our integrated development environment, so that debugging will be easier for us. You can go step by step in order to find out if any errors may be arised or not. Now, how to test the driver? Apart from the flexible configuration options offered by making your application implement the tool interface, you also make it more testable because it allows you to inject an arbitrary configuration. You're able to inject some arbitrary configuration properties through your command line to check whether they can be properly assigned to the resource files or not. You can take advantage of this to write a test that uses a local job runner to run a job against known input data, which checks that the output is as expected or not. Yes, there are two properties to doing this. There are two approaches to doing this. What are those two approaches? The first is to use the local job runner and run the job against a test file on the local file system. So you can test your you can test your code by running a local job runner provided by Hadoop on your local machine, on your local file system. And the second way of testing the driver is to run it using a mini cluster. This mini cluster will have some add-ons like Hadoop daemons, which will make a simple machine work as a cluster, work as a mini cluster by making all the Hadoop daemons, name node, secondary name node, data node, job tracker, and task tracker, all these 5 daemons of Hadoop, by making them run on a single machine, you're setting up a mini cluster and checking whether it is working fine or not, right? So it is different from checking it from a local system. Local system works in a pseudo distributed mode by taking the local file, but in a mini cluster, you're working with Hadoop daemons. Now, how do you write the test for max temperature driver that uses a local in-process job runner in a pseudo distributed mode on a single machine? So you are writing a function test which creates a configuration object because you are attempting to change the configuration of the system properties that are already defined in the XML files, and you are using this configuration object to set the default name with some path that is given, and set the MapReduce job tracker property with the local machine itself. Means you are setting the configuration such that your local machine itself will act as the job tracker. Okay, for that you are giving it as local. Now we are taking the input file path from which the data has to be read. Now we are taking the input NCDC data from a microfile. What kind of data this microfile has? Some data, some part of the data that is fetched from the main data set in order to work at the smaller scale. Okay, small part of data is taken. That is given as the input file, and you're also giving the output file path to which the result has to be written. And you are also creating the file system object which gets the local configuration of that file system. Okay, that is the use of configuration. That file system's default properties, if any are mentioned, if you want to know them, you can get it by using get local configuration. Now this file system should invoke delete method every time. Why? You may work with multiple jobs, and all these jobs may be working with multiple file systems. Now each time a job is being executed, that file system's property should be available to you, and previous file system property should be overwritten. For that, your overwritten means they have to be deleted. For that, you are using fs.delete the output and set it to true, so that file system's previous existing configuration existing file systems configuration will be deleted and new file systems configurations can be added, right? For that, you're deleting the old output. Now you're creating the instance of max temperature driver class as a new instance of max temperature driver, and using this driver object, listen carefully, using this driver object, you're setting the configuration by passing the configuration object. Right? Now you are trying to invoke the run method by using the driver, which returns an exit code. But while invoking this run method, what task you are trying to perform? You are giving input as a string and you are getting the output as a string. Now, what is the input that you are giving as a string? The raw data. What you are getting the output as a string? The final consolidated output, the year and the maximum main temperature recorded in the year. Now you are giving the assert that method and giving the exit code as is 0. If it is 0, then it will exit. Otherwise, it has to continue with the job till it is completed. And you can also check the output by using the configuration along with the output object. Okay, so this output object will be tallied with your configuration whether they are matching or not, to know the system properties, whether they are same as whether the same as you passed or not. Now the second way of testing the driver is to run it using a mini cluster. First way is to run it on a local file system, and second way is to run it on a mini cluster. Now this Hadoop has a set of testing classes. Hadoop has a set of testing classes called mini DFS cluster, mini MR cluster. Mini DFS cluster is mini distributed file system cluster, mini MapReduce cluster, and mini YARN cluster. This YARN is introduced in Hadoop 2.0 release. You remember that? Yet another resource negotiator. Now, mini YARN cluster is also available. These are the testing classes that are owned by Hadoop that provide a programmatic way to creating in-process clusters. If at all you want to work on a mini cluster, then these are the classes that will help you to perform that task. Now, unlike the local job runner, these allow testing against the full HDFS and MapReduce machinery. So you will get the feel of working on the real cluster in the real time. Okay, but you're working at a mini scale. You're working on a mini cluster still, so that debugging and changing the features will be easy for you. Adding extra features will be easy for you at this stage. Yeah, 2 more slides will complete. Now, mini clusters are used extensively in Hadoop's own automated test suite, but they can be used for testing user code too. So mini clusters are generally extensively used in Hadoop's own automated test suite. It will run automatically, but still you can also add some user-defined code and test it by using these mini clusters. Now, Hadoop's cluster MapReduce test case abstract class provides a useful base for writing such a test, handles the details of starting and stopping the in-process HDFS and MapReduce clusters in its setup and teardown methods. Setup method will set up a mini cluster for you. Teardown cluster will shut down the cluster for you. Remember, whenever a cluster's usage is completed, it has to be shut down. And that shutting down can be done by using this method, teardown. Okay, so if you want to execute a job, the cluster will be set up for the job, and once the job is completed, you have to shut down the cluster by using teardown method. And these two are available in the cluster MapReduce test case, right? And generates a suitable configuration object that is set up to work with them. All the configuration properties will be set up automatically in order to work with them. Now, subclasses need only populate data in HDFS, run a MapReduce job, and confirm the output is as expected. So our test, our task of writing the unit test has become easy because of this background classes that are working. Now subclasses need to only, the subclasses means the classes that extend this superclass now need to only populate data into HDFS, run a MapReduce job, and confirm the output whether it is as expected or not. It makes the job easier. Okay, all setting up of the clusters, tearing down the clusters, everything means creating the instance of a cluster on which the job has to be run, and again shutting down that instance, all can be taken care in the background by cluster MapReduce test case. Now tests like this serve as regression tests and are a useful repository of input edge cases and their expected results. So where do we use these regression tests? If you want to add extra features, and once these features are added, whether they are compatible enough with the existing features, they are working well with existing features without raising any errors. If you want to know, you have to perform regression tests. You know very well about this. You learned about this in software engineering, right? What kind of tests can be performed through this regression tests. If you want to add new features to the existing features and see that whether they are working fine without raising any errors with the existing features, you perform this unit regression tests. Now tests like this serve as regression tests and are a useful repository of input edge cases and their expected results. Now, as you encounter more test cases, you can simply add them to the input file and update the file of expected output accordingly. So if you want to add more and more test cases, as you go on adding more and more features, in such cases, it will be easy for you to perform those tasks as to perform the regression tests by using this cluster MapReduce test case class. Okay. So you have learned in today's class how to write the map driver, how to write the reduce driver, and how to write a test for your job on your local job runner by using the test driver. Okay. In forthcoming sessions, we are going to see how to run on a cluster by packaging a job, how to launch the job and use MapReduce web user interface. Students, you have any doubts so far? Are you able to follow? Chaitra?
Yes, ma'am.
Nishant?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Pavan?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'll stop the recording and take that.